Hello everybody, it's Pinky. I wanted to talk today a little bit about a topic that is dear to me. Children really speak to my heart, and I wanted to say a few things about some of the issues that I see these days, and basically about raising our children in today's world. Now this is going to be a much broader topic because the things that I'm talking about apply to all races, all nationalities. But I sat here and I just started thinking about everything that's going on in the world today and how our youth in particular have taken a turn for the worse. You know, I made another video about those positive children that grow up and become productive young adults, but there are so many others that are really just lost and on the wild and terrorizing their communities at large. And I just wanted to speak a little bit about that. But what I was thinking about first and foremost is the things that we as parents expose our children to, and in particular movies, music, and television. And we really don't think to the degree that we used to about how the things that we expose our children to and the things that we allow them to see and participate in affect their overall psychology and formulate ideas and opinions which they carry on into adulthood and young adulthood. The things that I see in movies and television that they say are approved for PG-13 and under, or even some things that I see on supposedly innocent channels such as the Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, whatever, is absolute garbage. And it's not anything that our children should be looking at. You have all sorts of depictions of scenes and scenarios that give our children a very wrong perspective of how they should handle conflicts. You always see these things on these small programs about bullies and whatnot, and how they go back and get revenge on the bully, and it's encouraging people to lash out and take revenge on their own. You see things that are overtly sexual in nature in these other programs. I'm talking specifically now about Nick and Cartoon Network and other regular cartoons that aren't overtly sexual, but they have sexual connotations to them, like for instance something as easy as the X-Men or something like that. What do you think a small child thinks when he sees someone like, let's say, the character Storm in this bodysuit, and she's voluptuous and has hips and legs and whatever, and you know, what do you think this little boy is looking at? Even if he knows it or not, he's looking at the full outprint of this woman's body, and he's admiring Storm because she's a superhero. Same thing for the girls, okay? And why should somebody be upset about wearing tight outfits, say, for instance, later on? Those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about, and they're very subtle. And one thing may seem innocent, but when you pile those things on top of each other, and then these children are interacting with adults, and you know when some things are on television that children shouldn't see, we don't put them out the room. It has to be very blatant for somebody to say, okay, Johnny, go back to your room, you know. And even now, these days, some parents are taking their children to the movies to sit down and see all kinds of mess. All manner of, you know, violence and sex and whatever. Like, let's take the movie that's out now recently, The Dark Knight. Me personally, I'm not letting my son watch it, okay? Because Gotham City off the hook, you know? Gotham City is like where I live, Detroit. It's the D. Ain't nobody no good in Gotham. But it's just that everything in Gotham City is revenge. You have so much overt violence. People getting shot, killed. The movie opened up. 6, 7 niggas die. Okay? It's just like, you know, as soon as the movie opened up, it's people getting offed. Do I want my 9-year-old to watch that? The answer is no, I don't. And for people who say, oh, it's okay, it's just a movie and whatever, you really have to think about the level of identification and engagement that children go through when they watch these things. Children emulate what they see. That's how they learn anything. That's how they learn language. That's how they learn manners. That's how they learn how to interact socially with the world. And they're not with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, they still have to go to school. They still do whatever they do. They still interact with their friends, maybe, you know, in the neighborhoods or whatever. And you're not on top of your child every single day watching everything that they do. And they are also interacting with children who have watched quite a few negative depictions or whatever. Now, back in the day, we all acted it out, and we know we did. Let's say cowboys and Indians, or cops and robbers, or, you know, those little games that we play. Where did we get the idea to act out these scenarios? From television. We saw something on there, whether it be Tonto and whatever, and we went, and when we got a gun, and if we didn't have one, we used our fingers. Okay? And you have to really think about what your children are going outside and emulating after they have viewed 8, 9, 10 hours of garbage. The other thing is video games. Now, let's take a video game such as Mortal Kombat. There's an option on the game in order to cut off the blood and somebody's head just getting overtly shanked out of their neck, but you are still beating the shit out of somebody on this game. And they are living virtually through these little buttons, and they are killing and doing whatever and breaking into buildings. And I mean, Grand Theft Auto is just crazy. Now, if adults want to engage in that stuff, or higher mature teenagers, which I still have questions about it, especially with GTA, if they want to do that, okay. But I'm talking about, I've seen little fellas and little girls playing this stuff, and their parents don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And I'm just here to say there's something wrong with that. I don't give a damn if somebody types a comment down here talking about I'm square, I'm old-fashioned, or whatever. Yeah, I am. Because people die, but not at the level that we're seeing now. All this violence out here. You got Columbine, you got people just getting offed over gym shoes and just anything. Somebody step on you, brush you the wrong way, look at you funny. They ready to kill you. Not fight. Kill you. Why is that? I just really want you to think why that is. You know, for me coming up, it was an honor to just fight and get it over with. Then you could see the same food the next day and it was over. Somebody won, somebody lost. But now it's a matter of people going back and getting their whole family, and you got cousins and whatever. I have seen parents come up to high schools trying to fight other teenage kids on the behalf of their child. What kind of madness is that? That's just idiots on the damn loose. People need to calm it down and find out why they're acting out in such violent and unimaginable ways. And I say it's because of what they see. They are not shaping their own worlds. They're having their world shaped for them, and they're falling for the propaganda machine that is advertising, marketing, movies, and television. And I know a lot of people can't get with that, but it is what it is. And if you don't believe me, just type in on YouTube, you know, propaganda or subliminal messages in cartoons or some search string like that, and see what pops up. It's some interesting stuff. Now, of course, you got some wackos that make videos about anything, and you can't believe everything you see. But there's enough out there where you can sift through the lies and the truth and see that the things that are being promoted from higher ups, and especially in certain communities that are being targeted, isn't necessarily what you want your children to be viewing. And if you show a child all this sex violence, whatever, when they become teenagers or young adults and they're disrespectful and they're out here engaging in unprotected sex and having babies or whatever, or when little Johnny call you and say that you got to come pick him up from jail, don't be upset about that. Be upset at yourself, because you could have done something different. Or if you were watching something with them, you could have explained to them what they were seeing. You could have separated the fantasy from the reality. But these days also, we as parents don't really sit down and talk to our children and ask them, what are they thinking? about something? What are they feeling about something that they've seen? And if you do that, I guarantee you they're going to give you some answers that you did not expect. They're really going to give you... You cannot catch these kids sleeping. They're very intelligent these days, and they catch on much faster than times gone. You know, children are just much faster these days at catching on to something. You just have to really watch what these children are looking at. And if you're a parent, I just beg of you to pay a little bit more attention to your child and how they're reacting to things, and just ask, what did they think about something? And if an answer comes back to you that you feel isn't safe, reshape it. That's your job. It's not the job of their teachers. It's not the job of the media. That's your job. So that's what I wanted to speak on today, and I'll see you later.